Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you demo about implementing JWT refresh token in .NET MAUI Blazor application. Here, I already added code related to generating refresh token and also requesting for new token using access token and refresh token. So this authenticate user now returning access token and refresh token. So this token I can use in our .NET MAUI Blazor application. So I already created a video about implementing complete login flow in .NET MAUI Blazor application. So just click on suggestion link to see that video. So in that project only I'm just going to implement refresh token. So let's go through it. Okay, so this authenticate user API now returning data in this format is success error message and contain containing access token and refresh token. So let me just create one class. So here in models I am just adding new class called main response. So here this authenticate user web API returning data in this format is success error message and contain these three property it's returning. So I'm just going to add that here. Also let me add another class like here authenticate user containing authenticate response. So I'm just going to create one class that contains refresh token and access token property. So another class I'm just going to add is called authenticate request and response. In that I'm going to add these two property, access token and refresh token. Now this API authenticate user API, let me change response. Before I was just returning access token only, that's why I set as a string, but now it's returning as a main response. Also here in interface I am just going to change it to main response. Now let me change this contain into main response. And this I'm just going to return from this authenticate user. Also let me just add here port 8188 that I'm using here in a base URL. Now here in login.razor component I need to modify this code, because before I just returning token as a string, now I'm just returning in different format. So here I will check like if response.is success, then here okay, so from the contain I'm just going to deserialize it to authenticate request response class. Let me just and from token response, now I'm just going to read access token, and here also I will set from token response dot access token. Now here in user basic detail class, before I was just storing access token, now I'm just going to store another property called refresh token. So let me just modify this property name to access token, and this will store refresh token. So here on the click of login, like if the user is valid, that time I'm just going to store access token and refresh token in this user basic detail object, and that I'm just going to add in secure storage. So entire user basic detail object is going to store in secure storage, and after that I navigate to dashboard page. Now when the application launch, that time also I added some logic. So here in app launch component, I was checking here if the access token is expired, that time I just navigate to login component. But now I will do one thing. Let me add another method for refresh token API, refresh token API. So that API going to check is it valid access and refresh token. That time it's just going to return new access token, and that we can use for calling other APIs. Now let me add refresh token, and here model I am just going to use authenticate request and response. So here in, if you see this API, refresh token API, is just accepting access token and refresh token. So that I'm just going to pass from here authenticate request and response class. So in the APIs list, I just added refresh token API, and that I'm going to pass here. Okay, so this refresh token API also returning data in main response format. Let me show you. So this refresh token API returning data in main response format. So here I am passing expire access token. So it just validating all the detail. So like my access token key detail and all stuff is valid, then it just returning claim principal, and using claim from the claim principal I am just fetching email, and by email I am just fetching user detail, and I'm just checking like if user detail is not null, and also checking like refresh token, like user refresh token that I'm storing in SQL, this SQL database. So I'm just checking with this refresh token. So if the user refresh token is not equal to whatever the refresh token I'm passing in this refresh token request model, so that is not equal, then I'm just returning invalid request. Otherwise I'm just creating generating new access token and new refresh token, and that I am just returning from this refresh token API. Okay, so now let me implement this refresh token here in app launch component. So here I'm just adding app service. Now From here I will call refresh token API. Like when the access token is expired, that time I will call refresh token, and here I will pass access token. So expire access token, that I will get from user basic detail because we already stored in that, and refresh token also I will get from user basic detail. And here I will check if the refresh token response is dot is success is true. That time I will just set this new access token and refresh token in this user basic detail. Otherwise I will just simply navigate to login page, login component. So from the content now, okay, so from the content I'm just now deserializing that access token and refresh token, and I will just set that to this user detail object. So user basic detail dot access token is equal to new access token. Now I will save this in secure storage like we did here in login component. So I just did like I just serialized the user basic detail, and after that I saved that information in secure storage, and in that I will pass key as a user basic detail and value that I just serialized. So same thing I'm just going to copy and I will paste it here. Okay, so I'm just setting value in this existing variable user detail str, and that I'm just setting in secure storage. And after that I will just navigate to dashboard page. Okay, here also I need to set as a interface, otherwise it's just going to throw error. Okay, here I need to add refresh token API declaration here. Let me just add. Okay, so now it's gonna work. Now let me run the API, let me run the project, and let's see. Okay, so here login is done, and I just set token expiration as a 30 second from the API. So when I open after 30 seconds, that time it is going to invoke refresh token call. Let me show you till that access token related stuff. So here when I click on authenticate user, that time it calling this method generate access token, and in that I just set token expiration as a 30 seconds. So after 30 seconds this access token is going to be expired. So I need to call refresh token. So let me rerun application. Okay, so now this condition is executed as a token is access token is expired. So now this refresh token is going to return new token, and that information I'm just going to set in this user basic detail access token and refresh token. So new access token and refresh token will be stored here, and that information again I am just going to replace in secure storage with the existing information, and then I am navigating to dashboard page. And if I again rerun the application, that time it's just going to check token expiration detail of access token. This is a new access token, so that time now this condition is not going to execute. Okay, so I need to set expire time more than 30 seconds. After that this going to work. So let me set as a 1 minute. So here in generate access token, I'm just going to set now add minutes to 1 minute, and I'm just going to rerun web API. So here I am just going to log out and going to run application again. Okay, so now it's logged in, and after 1 minute if I again open that time, it's just going to refresh the token. And before 1 minute again if I open the app, that time it's just not going to check for this refresh token call, because new token expiration again set to 1 minute. Now here in fetch data, I'm just going to fetch student detail, and that I'm just going to display here. So let me add API call here in app service. Okay, so let me add here get all student API. This API return data in, so from the student controller get all student API, returning data in this format. So let me add student model in models folder. So I'm just going to add new class student model, and in that I will add first name, last name and email. And this I'm just going to return in list of student model format. Let me add here API also, get all students from the students controller. Now as this controller using authorize annotation, so I need to pass authorization token also here, access token. So let me just add that. So in client.default request header, I am just going to add authorization, and token I will fetch from user basic detail access token. So I will convert now main response content into list of student. Okay, now this get all student, let me add in here in IApp service interface also, and I will call this get all student from fetch data component. So here I am just going to set now so students I will fetch from app service dot get all students, and now from each student, from the students object, I'm just going to display now student dot first name, last name and email. Now let me run the app and let's see it's displaying students or not. Okay, so it's displaying, and I set token expiration again to 30 seconds. So let's see after 30 seconds if I call this fetch data, so it's returning student detail or not. Okay, so after 30 seconds it's that response is empty because access token is expired. So here in get all student, if I see here response, so is success status code is false and it's returning 401 unauthorized. So here I will check like if response dot status code is unauthorized, then here I will call refresh token API, otherwise I just display that data. So here this refresh token, we are just returning data in main response format, but we are not storing this refresh token detail in secure storage. We just did that in here in app launch. So instead of doing here this all information storing in secure storage, here I will just set that here in refresh token call, and instead of main response I will just return boolean flag like is token is refreshed or not. So by default I will set as a false. So here if the main response dot is success, that time I will just save this information. Let me just set here. Okay, so here I am just fetching token response. After that I am just saving this all information in setting.user basic detail object, and same detail I am also setting in secure storage. So when user open next time, that time user will get updated token detail. And from here I will just set now is token refresh to true. So when this refresh token API is called, that time it's just going to return boolean value. Now same thing, let me set here in IF services. So here I will return in boolean format. So here in get all student I will just call refresh token API, and let me also set something here in refresh token. Now I will not pass any object here, I will directly set here new authentication request and response, and refresh token I will just get from setting.user basic detail refresh token, and then access token also from user basic detail. So I don't need to pass token detail in refresh token method. Here now I will check like if his token is refreshed, then I will just again call this get all student, and it is going to return all student record. Now here in app launch, now instead of calling this refresh token like this way and storing this all information, because we already did, so here simply I just check like is token refreshed, and here I will call app service dot refresh token, and if the token is refreshed, then simply I will just navigate to dashboard page, and also let me set this user basic detail here above, because now refresh token fetching token detail from setting.user basic detail refresh token. So because of that, when the application launch, that time if any user information is available, then first I will set that in a user basic detail object. So after that all API can access from data from this authorization barrier token and all stuff from this user basic detail. Now let me run the application and let's see. So I think now first it's going to call refresh token because 30 second is almost the 30 second is done, and after that let's also put debug point. Okay, so it's called refresh token, and if the token is refreshed then it is navigate to dashboard page. Now after 30 second, right now it's displaying user detail. Here after 30 second from get all student detail API, it is going to return unauthorized. So that time again I am calling refresh token method, and here I will check, like if the token is refreshed then I am just simply returning get all student detail. Otherwise it just return empty list of student. Okay, so now after 30 seconds this refresh token is calling, and here it returning response as a success, and it just simply return data and it display here. Okay, here now if you see I've written condition like if the success code is unauthorized then I am refreshing token. But this like for one API I did, like if in a one application there are lots of API we need to call, and writing in this way like checking for status code unauthorized for each and every API is not a good solution. For that we need to create a generic API method that just going to handle all the API requests, like either it's HTTP get, post, put, delete, any request that just going to handle by one API. So we no need to write every time HTTP client request, and we need to pass this all stuff. So for that I'm just going to create a video, next video on creating a generic HTTP method, and in that also I will handle with refresh token. So I continue with same project in a next video. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope you like this video, and thank you so much for watching.